Yeah, so I'm here in my vehicle and I have a few errands to do. But as I'm driving here, all these thoughts starts creeping into my mind. So, as you know from my last video, I've decided to sell my home and move to New England because realistically, it was a good idea to go there for 7 days and witness my dad and my family with what they're going through right now. My father's mental faculties is just not there. He repeats the same sentences every 10 minutes. And he has no recollection that he repeated it. So it's something that we have to understand and we have to tolerate because he doesn't know that he's repeating things. So all this goes to confirm my brother's story to me before I went up there. And I'm able to witness firsthand. So that in itself is a good reason. The other thing is living in Florida. You quickly realize that Florida is a paradise for many people that do not live here. Okay? For instance, I've been here 20 years. I lived 5 years in East Coast in the Palm Beach area, and I've lived 15 years in the West Coast, the Sarasota, Tampa, and Bradenton, Venice area. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers once again, as I always do, because I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I want to continue when I come right back. So yeah, so Florida really is a paradise for many people that do not live here. Florida is one of the most desirable places to vacation and to live by many retirees, but also many young couples. If you don't live in Florida, you'll appreciate the warm weather 365 days every year. If you don't live here and you're vacationing here, most likely you'll go out to eat every single day for the time you're staying in Florida, and you'll go to the beach every single day. All right? And you'll do shopping every single day. Because after all, you don't live here, so you want to bring back memorabilia and gifts for your families back in those states and countries where you're from. Now, when I first moved to Florida back in 2001, I went to the beach every single week. I was at the beach. And I did this for about 4 years. But as the time went, I started cutting back on my beach going unknowingly. I just found other things to do, other places to go, and I didn't do it. And one thing you'll find out about Florida is many people who are Floridians, those people that are born here, they don't take advantage of the weather and the beaches and the parks as much as someone who has just moved here, or those people who have who are vacationing here. And those people who live here 6 months out of the year, they also take advantage of Florida weather, the restaurants, the beaches, and the parks, more so than the natural Floridians, those people who were born here. They take it for granted. I'm learning after living here 20 years. I don't mean to take Florida for granted, but I have. It's just something that grows on you after time. And the reason being, in my opinion, is because the humidity and the constant heat, I would say maybe 9.5 to 10 months out of the year, just grows on you. It saps you of your energy, and then you find yourself spending more time indoors than outdoors. Or you go out in the evening when the humidity dies down. That's a state of where I've been. I would say probably for the past, 7 to 10 years. I don't go to the beach as much. I go during the evening when it's cooler and less humid, because my body and my respiratory cannot take the humidity so much. I've actually developed post-nasal dripping, which I think is a upper respiratory infection from constantly dealing with the high humidity down here. I noticed that when I was up north for a week, my sniffling and my post-nasal dripping just stopped. I was sniffling a little bit, but not as much, okay? Now, the thing that's a trade-off is, in the dry weather and the cold conditions up north during the winter, it's the dry skin, the extremely dry air. You always have to keep your skin, your hands and arms with lotion. You got to keep it supple and smooth and soft with lotion, or else your hands and your fingers will crack. The skin will just dry and crack. Here, it's always moist and supple, because the humid air and the humidity and the high heat. So that's my reasons. One of my reasons for going back up north. It's easy to just use hand lotion and hand creams to keep your body and your skin soft and keep the dryness away. I feel healthier. Now, I'm hearing things from the older people that they experience less cramps, less joint aching than they do up north. They feel that they get more body aches and more joint and limb aches when they're going through winter. That's why they come down here for the winter in a warmer climate. By the time the snowbirds come here for the winter, to me, it's such an over congestion of traffic, lines at the restaurant, lines at the gas station. And ever since this pandemic, I'm finding a lot more people are moving down here from states like California, Oregon, and Washington. They're hitting Texas and Florida to live, instead of putting up with the restrictions in those states. I know I'm moving from Florida to a more restricted state, but also there's a give and take in that also. Being a transgender woman, I actually have more freedom and more rights in Rhode Island than I do here in Florida. There's certain freedoms that I have, and there's certain freedoms I do not have as a trans woman. In Rhode Island, I can still carry and own my firearm in Rhode Island. That's a plus for me. And also, the transgender rights are more. Here I have almost no trans rights here. I have employment rights as a worker in the company I work for, because it's a corporation a rule or equality in the workplace. I do. But state-wise, I have no protections. If they wanted to fire me, then I have no protection. But because of corporate regulations, trans people are recognized for gender identity and sexual orientation. So, hands down, Rhode Island has more rights for me than Florida does. That's the other reason why I'm going. So anyways, I thought that you guys would find this video a little bit more interesting. And that's why I'm posting it. Also, I've decided that when I do move to Rhode Island, or New England, as I like to say, I'm probably going to rent for a couple of years, but then hopefully I'd like to buy a small little home there, maybe a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with a small yard with low maintenance. So that's my plan right now, and I have just recontacted the rental companies out there, and this time they have forwarded me an application which I'm going to go ahead and print out on my home printer and then mail back to them as soon as possible, because at the end of January my home will be listed. My realtor called me up and we've decided to list it by the end of January. I'm excited for this decision, which I'm going to stick with, which are based on my 1-week stay in New England with my family and seeing firsthand what my father and my parents are going through, which I've come to verify my brother's claims. And now it's just taking it. So now it's just taking it one day at a time and let the chips fall where they may. I'm going to miss Florida because it's such a melting pot. You know, everybody gets along in Florida. It's a very diversified state as far as ethnicities and culture. But I'm sure certain areas of Rhode Island and other states up north have a little bit of that too. But anyways, you guys have a great day today, and it's a marvelous day. And tomorrow I got to go back to work. I'm not looking forward to it, but I got to pay the bills. Bye, guys.
I'm